Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my channel. And if you like the video, I've been helpful, do press the like button. Let's start. Today we are going to solve Cambridge IGCSE Paper 4 Mathematics, May-June 2020, Variant 4.3. Question number 1. There's a sign here, campsite fees per day. And the cost of a tent per day is $15 and of a caravan $25. Today there are 54 tents and 18 caravans on this site. Calculate the fees charged today. Very easy question. How many tents are there? 54. And cost of one tent is $15 plus 18 caravans, and the cost of each is $25. Put the whole thing in the calculator and you will get $1,260. In September, the total income at the campsite was $37,054. This was a decrease of 4.5% on the total income in August. Calculate the total income in August. So we do not have the starting income in August, but we have the income in September, which we got after a reduction of 4.5%. There is a formula that we have that we can use. If you want to find the new value after the percentage increase or decrease, whatever is your starting value, we multiply by the percentage increase or decrease and we'll get the new value. Now in this case, we have the new value, we have the percentage increase and decrease, and we want to find the original value. So price in August, let it be X, and the percentage increase or decrease. We are having decrease here. If it is a decrease, from 100 you minus whatever the rate is given to you and divide by 100. This will give you 0.955. When you multiply this with the original, you get the new value, which is 37,054. Suppose you had an increase here, you will just put a plus. So it's very easy question. Therefore, the price in August is equal to 37,054 divided by 0.955. This will give us $38,800. Part C. The visitors to the campsite today are in the ratio men is to women is 5:4 and women and children is 3:7. We have to calculate the ratio of men, women and children in its simplest form. What do you notice? That men and women is 5:4. And then you have women and children. What is common? Women is common. But they are not in the same parts. They are not divided in the same parts. This is 4 parts, this is 3 parts. To make both the parts equal, only the women part we are talking about here, multiply by 4 and multiply by 3. The reason we are doing so is there's a 3 here. So if I multiply by 4, 3, you will get 12. And 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. That will give us common part of the women. This is 15, 28. Because this is common, we can write it as 1. 15 is to 12 is to 28. They want in the simplest form. See if you can simplify this. There's no common factor between the 3. That's the reason we wrote it the same way. The next part. Today there are 224 children at the campsite. Calculate the total number of men and women. For this question, we need to understand we do not have the total number of people. The total number of people we don't have. Suppose you want to find the number of children. Normally, what will we do? Whatever is our ratio for, the children. The ratio for the children is 28. We write down 28 over the total parts. So 15 plus 12 plus 28. That is going to be 55. This gives us the number of children because we have taken the children's part. So that's 224. Now to find the total, we are going to multiply 224 with the reciprocal of this. So whenever you want to shift a value to the other side, you can multiply by the reciprocal. Or understand that way, whatever is in the denominator becomes the numerator, whatever is the numerator goes down as the denominator. The space allowed for each tent is a rectangle measuring 8 meter by 6 meter, each correct to the nearest meter. Calculate the upper bound for the area of the space allowed for each tent. To the nearest meter means to the nearest 1 meter. So you're rounding it to a whole number. Whenever you are rounding it to a whole number and you want to find the upper bound or the lower bound, you have to add 0.5 for the upper bound, and for the lower bound you will subtract 0.5. That is whenever rounding to a whole number. So what is the upper bound of 8 going to be? When you add 0.5, it's going to be 8.5. And of the number 6, we will have 6.5. To find the area, you multiply length times width. So after finding the upper bound and the lower bound, you can find the area. It's 8.5 multiplied by 6.5, and the answer is 55.25. The next part of the question. The value of the campsite has increased exponentially by 1.5% every year since it opened 30 years ago. Calculate the value of the campsite now as a percentage of its value 30 years ago. Whenever you have something that is increased exponentially, there is a rule that we use. That is the same as your compound interest rule. P, that's your principal, your starting amount, bracket 1 plus R, the rate of interest, over 100 to the power of n. N is the number of years. If it was decreased, instead of the plus, it will be a minus. Now for this question, we don't have the principal. So 1 plus the rate of interest, which is 4.5 over 100, and the number of years is 30. We do not need the principal, as the principal is going to be same when you start it and after 30 years, so the principal gets cancelled. This, they want the answer in percentage form. So whatever answer you get, because they want it in percentage form, you will have to multiply by 100. This will be 1.563 multiplied by 100, giving us 156.3%. Question number 2 is a transformation question. A1, draw the image of triangle A after a reflection in the line y is equal to negative x. So for this, we will have to draw the line first, y is equal to negative x, and then reflect it. That is one way. You draw the line, use a tracing paper, and then reflect it. It's quite easy. To draw the line y is equal to negative x, basically whatever your value of x is there, you take the same value of x but make it negative. So suppose if your x is 1, what will your y be? Negative 1. If your x is 4, your y is going to be -4. So just keep that in mind and draw your line. When we have x is 2, y is -2, x is 7, y is -7. Same points we will take here and just draw them together. 2-3 points only you need. Now if you are using a tracing paper, you will just draw this shape and flip it over this line and the shape will come here. This is one way. Y is equal to -x. If you want to reflect, there's another way, the method that we use now. Write the vertices of x and y. Of this triangle, we have 1 and 2, 1 and 8, and 5 and 2. Now exchange your x and y values and change the sign. So this will become -2, -1, -8, -1, -2, and -5. So -2, -1, -2, -5, and -8, -1. Join the dots together to get the triangle. So we are done with the first part. A2. Draw the image of triangle A after translation by the vector -2, -9. Before that, let's just see what the vector represents. The column vector, the top unit is the change in x. If it's a positive, it means I move my point to the right. If it's negative, I shift it to the left. For y, if it's positive, I shift my point up, and negative means I shift my point down. So we have the column vector -2, -9. Let's take one point. So I'm taking this point. We shift. It's -2, so I'm going to shift that point to the right, left by 2. That's the new point. And then I'm going to shift it down by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is my top vertex here. After that, you don't need to see for all the points. Just count the number of squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Join the points together. Translation and reflection is very easy. So that's our A2. Next, describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. This is triangle A and triangle B. If you can see, what are the four transformations you do? Reflection. Reflection will be a mirror image. This is not a mirror image, so that's cancelled. The other is rotation. That is also not there. Translation means the size of the shape doesn't change. Here, the shape has moved, the triangle has shifted, but the size has changed. So whenever there's a change in size, that means we are dealing with enlargement. And it's a 3-mark question. If it is enlargement, you will need 3 things to get your full marks. The first thing you have to write is, it is enlargement. You got your 1 mark here. Then you need to write the scale factor of enlargement. That is also easy. Identifying is easy, this is easy. Take any one side. I'm seeing this side here. How many squares are there? 4. Take the corresponding side. This is 2. You know that 2 is half of 4. So what is the scale factor of enlargement? Half. We are making half of it. The third mark you are going to get when you write center of enlargement. For this, join the corresponding points. So this point with this, and let's take another point. I can still join the third vertex, but not necessary because I found my center of enlargement. Wherever their lines meet or intersect that point, and that is -7, 8. Moving on to the next, describe fully the single transformation of triangle A onto triangle C. You can see that triangle A has been rotated to triangle C. So the first mark you get for writing rotation. The second, you need to write the center of rotation. And for the third, you have to write the degree of rotation and whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you got your first mark here, rotation. Now to find the center of rotation. A tracing paper is very helpful. On a tracing paper, draw the triangle A and the center here, okay? And then put your pencil here and rotate the shape. This should also be rotated, so the whole thing will get rotated. And when you make one complete rotation, see if this falls on this. When you do that, you will see that the triangle A will fall on triangle C. That means your center is 0, 0. And you rotated it once only, that is 90 degrees. And because you rotated clockwise, so this is our answer. Question number 3. We have been given some information about the masses of potatoes in a sack, and we want to draw a box and whisker plot to show the information. Before we start the question, let's just have a look at the box and whisker diagram, how it is done. The lowest value is this branch here, then this is your highest value, this is the lower quartile, this is the upper quartile, and the line which is drawn in the middle is the median. So let's start drawing, which is the largest potato. Let's see what is given to us. The largest potato is 174 gram. So 174, as you can see, is here. Let's draw a line. And then the upper quartile is 121. We'll join everything together. The lower quartile is 121. The median is 148. So we used the largest, the median, and the lower quartile. Now we have been given the range and interquartile range. What is range? How do you get range? To get the range, from the highest value, we minus the lowest value. Now in this case, we do not have the lowest value, but we have the range, which is 69, and the highest value is 174. And we need to find the lowest value. So if we shift the lowest value here, it will become positive. And the 69 we shift to the other side, 174 minus 69 will give us 105. That's our lowest value, and that we will draw here. Now we used the range also. Now interquartile range is left. To find the interquartile range, from the upper quartile we minus the lower quartile. We do not have the lower quartile, so from the upper quartile, if we subtract the interquartile range, we'll get the lower quartile. Upper quartile is, upper quartile is not given to us. Lower quartile has been given to us. So, to find the upper quartile, we will shift the lower quartile to the left hand side, it will become positive. Interquartile is 38 plus the lower quartile 121. This will give us the upper quartile, and that is 159. Let's draw that here. It's actually a very easy question if you know your basics well. And then you joined the lines together, and this one will remain in the middle. So if you want, you can write down that this is your lowest value. Sorry, your lower quartile. Your median, your upper quartile, highest value, and the lowest value. Part B, the table shows the marks scored by some students in a test. This is the mark, this is the frequency. Calculate the mean mark. A very easy 3-mark question. When you have data given like this and you want to find the mean, you just multiply the mark or whatever the value is there with the frequency. So 5 multiplied by 8 plus 6 multiplied by 2 plus 7 multiplied by 12 plus 8 multiplied by 2 plus 9 multiplied by 0 plus 10 multiplied by 1. Many questions, the ones that have more marks, they are very easy to solve. You just need to know your formulas, when to use what. And in the denominator, we are going to write the sum of this. So the frequency, 8 plus 2 plus 12 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 25. Put this in the calculator, the whole thing together, and the answer is 6.48. Question number 4a. Solve the inequality. 3m plus 12 is less than or equal to 8m minus 5. Bring the like terms together. So this 8m, I'm going to shift here. When we do that, the sign changes. And shift the 12 to the other side, it will become negative 12. So 3 minus 8 will give you negative 5m. And negative 5 minus 12 will give us negative 17. Now negative 5m means negative 5 multiplied by m. So when you shift that 5 to the other side, it will be divided. Whenever your m or x, your main variable, has a negative, your inequality sign changes. So it's less than and equal, now it will become more than and equal. This will give us 17, negative 17 divided by negative 5 will be 3.4. So this is our answer. Solve the equation. This is an algebraic fraction. Now you to solve it, how do you solve fractions when you have them in this form? We cross multiply. So 2x plus 5 multiplied by 15 is equal to 14 multiplied by 3 minus x. We just cross multiplied like this. Expand the bracket. 2x multiplied by 15 will give us 30x. and 5 times 15 will give us 75. 14 multiplied by 3 will be 42, and 14 multiplied by negative x is negative 14x. The concept is same, bring all your x together and the numbers on one side. So the negative 14, when I move it to the left hand side, will be positive 14, and the 75, when I shift it to the right hand side, the sign will change, it will be negative 75. 30 plus 14, 44x is equal to 42 minus 75, negative 33. So negative 33 divided by 44 is going to be negative 3 over 4. You can write it like that or as a decimal. Question number C. This simultaneous equation has a linear equation and a quadratic equation. You already have y is equal to 4 minus x. We just use the substitution method, and where there is y, we substitute with 4 minus x. Remember the power. If you want to expand 4 minus x, it's a very good idea that you learn the rule that I'm writing down now, because this identity you're going to use it till grade 12. If you have a plus b square, it will be a square plus 2ab plus b square. And if it's a minus, it will be a square minus 2ab plus b square. So using this, we have 4 minus x square. What is our a? 4. We just replace it like that. What is our b? We do not take negative x, it's just x. And then x square. This will give us 16 minus 8x plus x square. Suppose you don't know or don't remember this identity. The 67 being on the left hand side, make it equal to 0. Suppose if you don't remember, then the normal way to expand the bracket, 4 multiplied by 4, 4 multiplied by negative x is negative 4x, negative x multiplied by 4, negative 4x, and negative x multiplied by negative x is x square. We add the powers. This will give us the same answer as when we used the identity. Really not difficult to remember. If you write it down 4-5 times for 4-5 days, you'll be good. Now expand the bracket, multiply everything with 2. Add the like terms together. So x square plus 2x square will give us 3x square. 32 minus 67 is negative 35. Now to solve this, you can use your calculator to get the answer, to check whether your answer is right or wrong. And that is, I don't know which calculator you all use, but if you are using the scientific, the gray color calculator, which is, I think, the 991 ES Plus, or any other calculator in which you can solve the quadratic equation, write down your calculator name on Google and see how you can solve it. So when I use the calculator, I'm using the 991 ES Plus, and I use mode. I press mode, then 5, and then I press 3. You will get A, B, and C. In place of A, put 3, the coefficient of x square. B is the coefficient of x, and C is the the constant. Press equal each time, and you will get 2 answers. x is equal to 7 and x is equal to negative 5 over 3. So this is your answer. When I want to write it in a factor form, I just have to change the sign. So I can write it as x minus 7, and the one with the fraction, this 3 will come here, it'll be 3x, and the negative 5 will be positive 5. And then you write down your factor, make it equal to 0. So x is 7 and x is negative 5 over 3. This is your final answer. That should be your final answer here. These are steps to show that you have worked it out. But for this question, don't do this. This is when your x does not have a coefficient. You can use a calculator and write it this way. It's fine. Now that it has a coefficient, you either learn how to factorize it and solve, or you can use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is x is equal to minus b plus n minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. What is our a? 3, b is negative 16, and c is negative 35. Remember, the b already has a negative, so negative 16 plus and minus. Put your b in a bracket and then write square. Everything in proper brackets over 2 multiplied by 3, our a. So the negative and negative will give us positive. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Whatever is in the square root, do that separately. This will give us 676. So this will give us x is equal to 16 plus 6, square root 76 is 26 over 6. Let's see what we get. We'll get x is equal to 7. And the other value of x will be 16 minus 26 over 6. That will be negative 5 over 3. It's a 6-mark question, so better to show more steps and make sure that you don't miss out on any mark. And it's not very difficult. Now that you have your x and y, to find, you got your two x's. To find the y value, when x is 7, substitute in this equation. Y is 4 minus x. So 4 minus 7, it is negative 3. And when x is negative 5 over 3, your y is going to be 4 minus 5 over 3. This will give us y is equal to 17 over 3. Now write your 2 points together. When x is 7, y is negative 3. When x is negative 5 over 3, y is change your 15 over 3 as a mixed number. How do you change it into a mixed number in a calculator? I'm sure most of you know how to do this. So press shift, and then in all the calculators there is a delete button. Before that is SD. So you have in your calculator the answer 17 over 3. If you don't have it, like you're getting it now, write 17 over 3, press equal, and then press shift and SD. This will turn into 5 2/3. So that is our second y value, 5 2/3. This brings us to the end of this video. For question number 5 onwards, please watch the second part. Thank you for watching.